Okay, hello everyone. So thankfully, some people in, our Discord managed to get, Gaius's fanfic, and I have never actually read it, but apparently it is absolutely hilarious, so here we go. Two Victious subjects, Timothy and Stuart. Both fans of Crash and other video games, played classic Crash games and enjoyed the franchise until CTTR and COT came out. Both also have PCs, besides of consoles they used to play Crash games with. During the absence of Crash they knew, Timothy spends his time by playing the old games, including the Crash ones. I thought that was obvious. And expands his expertise of them, while Stuart expands his expertise of lousy modern gaming and starts to think higher specs are always better. So, I don't know what he means by this. Does he mean higher specs in hard drive? Like in its power? Or does he just mean graphics? Because if we're arguing about graphics, yeah, new graphics are always going to be better. That's not a delusion. That is just fact. Like, a block is never going to look the same way as a HD fully rendered flower. It's just never, no, it's never going to compare. Then NST comes out. Timothy is highly disappointed. It's only a mockery of Crash's origins, even though it's a full 100% remake, but I guess Timothy's stupid. Stuart, in other hand, okay, is unhealthily delirious with joy for classic Crash being back and being polished for 8th gen specs. He became totally blind to all the flaws NST has. Okay, so as someone who really loves the Insane Trilogy games, no one's bloody blind to the fact it has flaws, nor is anyone saying it's better. What people are saying is that it's just nice that the old game got a remake and got put into the modern generation. Because otherwise, you know, I hate to be blunt, not a lot of new generation kids would play old games. Like, I was born in the 90s, you don't see me, like, back then wanting to play Space Invaders. It's just not a thing. Like, you just wouldn't. You'd want to play the new stuff, the new tech. Like, that's just how it's always been. Timothy tries to snap Stuart out of it and convince him that it's a screw-up. Okay, so I guess Timothy's a gatekeeping asshole then. Sadly, Stuart isn't alone. Millions of others credulous Crash fans too agree that it's the genuine article Crash that's returned. God, Gaius, your grammar is bad, and this is someone with dyslexia saying that, like, holy hell. Which, of course, isn't true at all. This, of course, causes a feud between Timothy and Stuart. And what's worse, Timothy loses to the sick majority and has now become a total outcast. Gaius, we all know that Timothy is basically just you. You don't need to write a really bad autobiography out of it. No one's gonna buy it. No one's gonna buy it. His problems won't end there. When Timothy is wandering the game stores for new PC games, he only finds just few phony boxes with Steam code in it. Not codes, just the one code, apparently. The majority against Timothy is only expanding. Now everyone is bullying Timothy and forcing him to give up on old games, mid-spec PCs, and optical drives, and waste his health and fortune on to majority's shit that he absolutely can't stand. A lot of things to unpack here. It is true that there is absolutely no reason to buy a disc nowadays. One, because I gotta be absolutely blunt, discs are becoming very obsolete very quickly. No one has a optical drive in their PC. The game industry is definitely moving towards more streaming and downloading than anything else, because the thing is with disk space is that it's actually the cause of reason why a lot of old games had a lot of stuff cut in it, because there was a question of limitation. A lot of old games did have to work with the limited space in a disc. When it comes to streams and downloading though, they can make the games bigger and add so much stuff. This is, however, coming to one problem where the games are becoming too big, and this is causing space problems within like these hard drives. But I don't even think Gaius is like too upset about that. I think he only likes discs for the fact they're old and that's it. He's not really arguing for like optimization, he's just arguing for novelty. Actually, now thinking about it, why isn't Gaius arguing for cartridges? Because, hey, the more limited space the better, right? Also, I don't even think the most die-hard retro fans are calling for mid-spec PCs and the collapse of the PC industry. Like, I think even the most die-hard that are like buying these old Nintendo 64s and collecting all these old games, I don't even think they're calling for the halt on progressive production on PCs. Like, it is such a weird take. Even the adults don't leave him other options, even if they're not as mean as the others. So Timothy had no option but to commit suicide. What? Timothy's like a real cuck here. Like, imagine instead getting on with your life and going like, oh, I can still enjoy the old games. I don't actually care what people think about my life. He's like, nobody loves the fact I enjoy old things. I need to die? I don't care about my mom or my dad or the people around me that love me. I'm going to kill myself because there's no mid-spec PCs. Like, Timothy's just such an idiot, man. Meanwhile, Stuart has sold all of his old PC with the optical drive, his old video games, and possibly a lot of other things, in order to get the PC, which can run NST's PC version. He then gets an idea to play some of his old games, but remembered that he sold them all away. Oh yeah, because I guess good old games doesn't exist. Like, there is so many ways around this without needing a disc, my guy. Has Stuart not heard of emulation? I actually did come across a website that is all about self-preservating old PC games. Like, I managed to get Black and White 1 and Black and White 2 on it, and I was actually able to get it work on my new PC completely fine. So, I guess Stuart's, like, not Chad at all. I guess he's also a moron. Well, in truth, he turned out to have only one CD-ROM game left. But sadly, his new PC doesn't have an optical drive. He starts finding an optical drive, but no, wherever he goes, there's no optical drive sold. Stuart also not heard of eBay? No? He's not heard of, like, second-hand websites that would sell that stuff? No? He's not seen those? No? Like, this is, like, really bizarre to think that there is just no one selling these things that would obviously play older, like, discs. Like, I'm pretty sure you can still get, like, cassette tape players. Like, people still can make those things work, and you can still buy them. Like, I've seen, Game Boys. Like, you can still get those games. Like, they still exist. I think the irony here is I actually have to tell a little bit of a story here, and it probably would annoy the hell out of Gaius, is that the reason I was looking for Black and White 1 and Black and White 2 is because I actually did have 2 of those discs, and my new PC didn't have an optical drive. So Gaius must be like, aha, so you can't play them. And so I did look online, I did find an optical drive. But then I found something better. I found that website that preserves old games. And I was able to download both of them. So I did not have to buy an optical drive, and I managed to get those games for free. Well, yeah, there you go. They've died extinct. They've died extinct! They've died extinct. This phrase was ironically written by the guy that says he knew too much. They've died extinct. I'm sorry to harp on about it. That's literally just putting a hat on a hat. Like, no shit, Sherlock, what do you think extinct means? Whew, okay. They've died extinct. Along with the games Stuart once sold away. What, did the old Crash games died extinct? Oh god, I think I'm gonna be died extinct in a minute from laughter. Stuart starts to burst into tears. That blind moron ruined his life with his obsession of 8th gen shit. Wow. You ruin your life by enjoying modern games? Wow, Gaius should be a politician. Because they're always talking about how video games ruin people. And disrespect what really was good. I guess Red Dead Redemption 2 is no good. You guys liked Red Dead Redemption 2? Nah, I guess it's garbage. Throw that away. It's crap. And now it's way too late to undo the biggest mistake of his life. So Stuart too ends up committing a suicide. So this is literally just Dumber and Dumber. It's like Romeo and Juliet, except there's like no interesting moral to it about the foolishness of young love and how like ridiculous it can be. This is just 2 idiots dying over retro Crash. We are all gathered here today, Timothy and Stuart. They both died extinct. This is what modern gaming is causing to all of us. Yeah, to your theoretical fake human beings that would never do this in their entire life, but alright. I bet millions of Crash fans and other gamers have gone bankrupt for wasting their fortune to high ends. What? These things exist on cheap consoles. Like, if you're talking about, like, a 2000 gaming PC to play Crash Bandicoot, yeah, that would be ridiculous, but I don't think anyone's doing that. Like, Does Gaius just think like PCs all cost like 5,000 quid or $5,000? Or like 5,000 euro? Does he just think they cost that much? Because honestly, I paid mine off pretty damn easily. Where was I? Are currently crewing for throwing away what they used to love the most, and worst case, have committed suicides! It's not, we're doing a plural on this word. I don't even think it needs one, but from the amazing grammar I've seen of this, I can see why I'd be confused by that. We can't have Steam codes be a plural. It can only be one code, but all of these people are committing suicide in belief their mistakes can no longer be undone. Thank God emulation has solved all that problem then. That's obviously what modern game companies, Activision, Steam included, are looking forward to. I think they're just looking forward to your wallet. I don't think they care if people live or die. It's kind of a weird expectation of capitalism, but okay. And if no one else is willing to solve or prevent that problem before it's too late, I will. I love that Gaius's whole message here is basically like, oh, what was it? When they came for the Jews, no one spoke up, and then when they came for you, no one stood up to come and help you, or something like that. But this is just so batshit crazy. Like, there are problems with the gaming industry, absolutely. I don't think anyone's denying that. But Gaius is like making arguments for something that just doesn't really exist. As stated before, no one's really crying for these old games because they're still alive and well in the industry. Tomba got a remaster. Sonic Colors had a remaster a while back. It even had Sonic Mania, which was basically based on like old retro novelties. It's like a new Sonic game or something. Gex is like getting a remaster as well, so you can't sit there and say that no one cares about these old retro games because, well, they do. Like, that's why good old games exist. You could like buy the old Metal Gear Solid game on that. I'm pretty sure you could get the old Castlevania games as well. And like I mentioned, there's like tons of websites that are about preserving old games that aren't being sold by these companies. Because in a really weird way, Gaius has somewhat the right idea about them not preserving old games, but he's attacking the wrong people. He's attacking people that merely enjoy the modern games. What he should really be upset about is these companies, where they will resell old games for a ridiculous price. As much as I like Tomba, the price on that thing was ridiculous, and all they did was like add in new music and new artwork, and that was basically it, and they were still like asking for a pretty big damn price tag on it. Like, I thought that was ridiculous. So no, the only reason video game companies lock these old games away is so they can resell them and make large bucks on it. And the thing is, Gaius isn't really preserving these old games. He's not really doing anything. He's just going out and bullying people. The real heroes are people that created emulation. That's the bottom line. The real heroes are people that pirate games. Because they're the ones that are preserving these old games for people to still enjoy. And that's the fact. Like, Gaius, mate, you're doing jack, bro.